Good afternoon on what is a warm, bright and breezy day. It is Monday the 7th of July and I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And a bag full of goodies which are brought back from Free RPG Day, which in 2025 took place on Saturday, June the 21st. Yes, Midsummer's Day. Let's see what I can find in here of interest. Look at that. I've had a look at that. Let's have a look at this. This is, well, it says 1348, Quickdeath, and I recognise the logo. That's Need Games. So that's the Italian publisher, best known for Fabula Ultima, the role-playing game based upon Japanese style console games like Final Fantasy and others. It's Píaga, Píaga 1348, and from the look of the book, with all of those deathly faces or with skill like rictus grins and the poor victims below, I'm wondering whether this has anything to do with the Black Death. It's 1348, it's Europe. That looks sort of like a wood cutting. There's nothing on the back to say what it's about, except you've got a really nice image of the book that's going to be launched at Gen Con. So Píaga 1348, yes, it translates as Plague 1348. It's a tabletop role-playing game, and essentially you play the role of soldiers in the Ordo Mortis, an undercover army fighting a secret war to eradicate the Revenant Plague and its consequences. So what you've got is zombie fighting in 1348. And if that doesn't get you going, you know, the idea of being a member of a holy order sent out to put down zombies sounds great. I mean, it's that essentially that's a great selling pitch. Okay, so got a nice bit of history here, followed by, so essentially the sort of like the counterpart to it, essentially what's actually, there's like a secret war going on, because you're not going to tell people that the dead rise, because hey, they're already suffering enough with the Black Plague. So here's how we basically talking about the soldiers of Ordo Mortis. This is the order that the player characters belong to, and that take turns, I presume, sort of like they're going to be a soldier on duty. So it's sort of like a storytelling game, where the focus changes. And this is how they define the character. So motto, name, description, weapon, armor, what I want, what I don't want, and potentially the traumas that have been suffered. How to handle conflicts in the game, and essentially you're assembling a dice pool, presumably based on all of this. Bring that into play. And then you're attempting to get successes. It's a 5 or 6 on the dice pool, and more successes is better. You only need 1 to succeed. It says essentially that, you know, you add extra successes to a morale pool. So there's the details of the morale pool. This is what you basically, this is like a dice pool that players can subsequently pull from to do their tasks, or you can take a gamble that could be dangerous, and suffer the consequences there of the gamble's outcome. And essentially the goal of Píaga 1348 is to help both the LM, what's the LM? Is the Ludi Magister, essentially your game master, tell a choral story. So it's a story told together. And then essentially you've got some tables for creating background details and prompts, rules and guide for the Ludi Magister. And then there are no pre-written adventure modules for Píaga 1348. If this is your first experience as a Ludi Magic, you may need more guidance. we've created a number of scenarios, each comprising missions opening, a brief prologue, and a few tables filled with hints and clues as to what can be used, so that they can be played again and again. So any one of these essentially is like a single session. So we've got a prologue and background to the Villa Boccaccio, locations, secondaries involved, and so on. Is that essentially the secondary? I think that's the next one. The next story. So you've got several different stories in here that you can pull out and play, sort of like a mini campaign of the story of these knights and their duty taking out these zombies. And there you've got basic breakdown, kind of like that. This is kind of reminiscent of the weapons table in Merc Bourges, with all the weapons piercing, but not quite as bad as that. And you've got some sample ready to play knights, members of the Ordo Mortis, essentially with a recap of the rules here, and that's going to be for each of these characters. And each of these characters is kind of a different, got a different kind of character here. So female character, not quite sure what she is, but male character. And the last one is a plague doctor, which is more 17th century, 16th century than the 14th century of Píaga 1348. But the thing is, it's sort of like this is kind of, there's obviously, you've already got an anachronism in there with the fact that you've got the zombies rising up from the plague. But last of all, you've got an advert for further Need games, and I've already looked at Fabula Ultima and The Breach as well. I've done reviews of those, unboxings and so on. But I do like the sound of this, and I really like the look of this, not this quick start, but the quick death. I think that's a nice touch. There's been a lot of thought put into the look of this for what is quite a dark, simple storytelling game. Yeah, quite impressed by that. But that is Píaga 1348 from Need Games. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where typically you'll see me out here with a box, but I'll be out again with a bag full of goodies from Free RPG Day, from which I will unbox a quick start scenario or other supplement and talk about it to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.